So August 3rd was the NCAA deadline. August 17th is the NBA deadline, 2 weeks.
Yep.
How many guys do you think are going to put their name in for that August 17th deadline that we're going to be like, ooh, man, like I didn't see that coming? Like I asked Scotty Lewis this a month ago when I did a podcast with him and Nick Sherrod and Luca Garza on racism. I said, what are the odds? Are you thinking about this? Because now you have the ability until August 17th to put your name in for the NBA draft. At that point, remember, you had the deadline for NCAA had come and gone, so nobody thought that they had any more time. But how many guys do you think we'll see pop up here, on August 16th and 17th?
I think there might be a couple just because it's an option that's still available, but I don't know what changes in the next 2 weeks that will make these kids change their mind, right? Because
I think it's the kids that didn't put their name in initially that are now – remember, when they had to put their name in initially, at that point for the deadline, it didn't look so bleak for college basketball. Right now it looks a little better today, I think, than it did maybe 3 weeks ago. But this shit's changed. It's changed. The mindset has changed a lot. And I think as we get closer – August 17th, we still won't know whether college football games have gone off or not. And that was my whole take is like, let's let these kids see if there's going to be college football in late August or not. Because if there's not, the odds aren't great that there's going to be college basketball. Now, maybe college football will get pushed off to the second semester, which I thought all along that might be the right play. But I think there'll be a couple guys that when the deadline passed months ago, felt a lot better about college basketball being played this year than they do right now.
But here's the thing about that, and to your point, is that the August 17th deadline is the NBA's deadline.
Right.
So if the NBA gets to a point and they hear enough feedback that there's guys that want to come back in the draft, like they can always change that deadline. Like that.
Yeah, they won't. I don't think they'll push it. I think they'll stick it where it is. Now, again, Luca Garza, I asked him, I said, hey, are you going to take these 2 weeks? Like, are you still – he said, no, I'm definitely going back to Iowa at this point. And that's all good and everything. But let's face it, if let's say we're in mid-September, right? Mid-September, they haven't played college football. Luca Garza could still go overseas. He's still got that option.
Like Luca can make a lot of money playing overseas because, correct me if I'm wrong, but he has the Bosnian passport, right?
Yeah, I think he can make – right. So some of these kids, Yves Pons, right? Yves Pons can make money going overseas if he wants. Now, he decided to come back to Tennessee.
You know what's funny about him is I think that he makes so much more sense as an NBA player than as a guy that is going to play in Europe. Like if you put Yves Pons on the Timberwolves and let him play as a defensive presence next to Karl Anthony Towns, like that's a perfect fit for him.
Yes.
He can start there. I don't think that he will be as good as Brandon Clark is, but imagine the role that Brandon Clark is playing for Memphis, maybe just on a little bit of a smaller scale. Like he's not going to be as good offensively as what Brandon Clark has turned into. But how many people right now that were one of those top 20 picks last year are sitting there saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we should have listened to everyone that said Brandon Clark was one of the best players in all of college basketball. Because he's been pretty damn good. Yeah,
like he could be like an Andre Roberson type player. Like that could be his role, which again on the right team is absolutely. I mean, he can play on any team, but on the right team where you got four other scorers on the court with him, he can be absolutely terrific. All right,
I want to talk about sneaky important returns. By the way, Yves Pons back to Tennessee, I think makes them a top 10 team. I think they're the favorite to win the SEC this season.